You spent at least 12 years in a classroom. During that time, you were taught how to calculate the hypotenuse of a triangle, you memorized the dates of ancient battles, and you were likely forced to read classic literature that you haven't thought about since. You were told that if you got the grades, stayed out of trouble, and followed the path, the world would reward you with stability and prosperity. But then, you graduated, and suddenly, you were thrown into a game where the rules were never explained to you. Why is it that we spend thousands of hours learning things we will never use, yet we aren't taught the one thing that dictates almost every aspect of our adult lives? The truth is uncomfortable. The traditional education system wasn't designed to make you financially free. It was designed during the Industrial Revolution to create compliant employees, people who show up on time, follow instructions, and don't ask too many questions. Employees don't need to know how money works. They just need to know how to work for it. But the old world is dead. The get a degree, get a job, and save 10% path is now a one-way ticket to the middle-class trap. If you want to build real wealth, you have to unlearn the middle-class myths and master the shadow curriculum. Today, we're breaking down the 7 money rules school never taught you. Rule number 4 is the reason most high earners are actually broke. And rule number 7 is the only way to truly buy your time back. Let's dive in. In school, you were taught that saving is a virtue. Maybe you had a piggy bank, or your parents opened a savings account for you when you were 10. Your teachers likely praised the idea of putting money away for a rainy day. But in the real world of the 21st century, the saver is actually the biggest loser. To understand why, you have to understand rule number 1. Money is not a static object. It is a melting ice cube. We live in a world governed by fiat currency, which simply means the government can print more of it whenever they want. Every time a new dollar is printed, the dollars already in your pocket lose a little bit of their purchasing power. This is inflation, but it's more accurate to call it a hidden tax. Think back to 30 years ago. What did a gallon of milk or a movie ticket cost? The prices didn't go up because the products became more valuable. The prices rose because the currency became weaker. If you had saved $10,000 in a safe in 1980, you could have bought a brand new high-end car. If you take that same $10,000 out today, you might be able to afford the down payment on a used one. By saving that money, you allowed the system to steal the majority of your labor's value through the passage of time. Banks love savers. They pay you a measly 0.01% interest, while they turn around and lend your money to others at 7% for a mortgage or 20% for a credit card. They are using your capital to build their empire, while your wealth evaporates. To win, you must stop being a saver and start being an investor. Wealthy people don't hold cash, they hold assets. They convert currency into things that hold value: real estate, gold, stocks, or businesses. In a world of infinite printing, you must own finite things. The second rule refers to the fact that the school system encourages you to aim for a high-paying job. They want you to be a doctor, a lawyer, or a corporate executive. While these are respectable paths, they lead to being rich, not wealthy. Most people use these words interchangeably, but the difference is the difference between freedom and a gilded cage. Being rich is about your current income. It's the size of your paycheck. If you make $300,000 a year, you are rich. You can buy the luxury SUV, the designer wardrobe, and the house in the suburbs. But being rich is incredibly fragile because it is tied to your physical labor. If that surgeon develops a hand tremor, the $300,000 vanishes instantly. This is linear income. You are trading 1 unit of your life for 1 unit of currency. If you stop, the money stops. Wealth, on the other hand, is measured in time. Wealth is the ability to survive for a number of days forward without working physically. If you stopped working today, how long could you sustain your current lifestyle? For most people, the answer is until the next mortgage payment is due. They are one missed paycheck away from a total collapse. The truly wealthy focus on residual income. They spend their time building or buying systems that generate money regardless of whether they are awake or asleep. Wealth is owning a portfolio of stocks that pays dividends, a piece of software that people pay for monthly, or a rental property where the tenant pays your mortgage and puts profit in your pocket. The rule school missed is that your job is meant to be a tool to buy your wealth. Never confuse the two. Use your rich years to buy wealthy assets. The goal isn't a high salary, it's an income that doesn't require your presence. If you've ever listened to traditional financial gurus or your high school economics teacher, they probably told you that debt is a four-letter word. They told you to stay away from it, pay off your house as fast as possible, and never owe anyone a dime. While this is safe advice for people who lack discipline, it's a strategy that ensures you will never reach true financial scale. Rule number 3 is understanding that debt isn't inherently evil. It's a tool. There is bad debt and there is good debt. Bad debt is money borrowed to buy depreciating assets, things that go down in value. This is your car loan, your credit card balance for that vacation, or the financing on your new smartphone. Bad debt is a trap because you are essentially borrowing from your future self to pay for current pleasures. You are working tomorrow to pay for a meal you ate last month. This is how the middle class stays trapped. They are perpetually paying interest on things that are already in the trash. Good debt, however, is the superpower of the ultra-wealthy. Good debt is using other people's money to buy an asset that pays for itself and puts profit in your pocket. Imagine you want to buy a $200,000 rental property. You could save up $200,000 in cash, which might take you a decade, or you could use a mortgage. You put down $40,000 and the bank gives you $160,000. Now you own the whole asset. The tenant pays the rent, which covers the interest, the taxes, and the insurance, and still leaves you with a profit. In this scenario, you use the bank's money to grow your net worth. You used leverage to grow 5 times faster than you could have by saving. School teaches you to fear the bank. The wealthy know how to use the bank as a partner. This is the rule that shocks most graduates the hardest when they enter the workforce. In school, when you did math problems about John earning $50,000, the answer was always $50,000. But in the real world, John doesn't have $50,000. John has about $35,000. The single biggest expense you will ever have in your life, more than your house, your kids, or your food, is taxes. Yet, how many hours did you spend in school learning about tax brackets, deductions, or corporate structures? Probably 0. Rule number 4 is that you are not taxed on what you earn. You are taxed based on how you earn it. If you are a standard employee, you are in the highest taxed category. The government takes their cut before you even see your paycheck. You get the crumbs that are left over. However, the tax code is not just a list of punishments, it's a manual of incentives. The government wants people to build housing, create jobs, and produce energy. So, they tell you, if you do these things, we will let you keep more of your money. This is why a business owner who makes $1 million might pay a lower percentage in taxes than a secretary who makes $50,000. The business owner has expenses they can deduct: travel, equipment, marketing, all of which are paid for with pre-tax dollars. The employee has to pay for their life with post-tax dollars. To win the money game, you have to stop thinking like a taxpayer and start thinking like a strategist. There are 2 tax systems, one for the informed and one for the uninformed. In school, collaboration is often called cheating. You are told to sit in your own desk, look at your own paper, and solve the problem by yourself. This creates a lone wolf mentality that is devastating to your financial success. In the real world, wealth is a team sport. Every major breakthrough in your life, the job offer that doubled your salary, the investment tip that paid off, the introduction to a business partner, will come through another human being. Rule number 5 is that your income will almost always be the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If your circle consists of people who complain about their boss and spend their weekends only seeking entertainment, you will adopt those same money scripts. But if you change your circle, if you find a way to get into rooms with people who are doing 10 times better than you, your perspective shifts. You realize that what you thought was impossible is actually just normal for them. Proximity is power. You don't even need to be the smartest person in the room. You just need to be in the room. This is why the wealthy send their children to elite private schools, not necessarily for the curriculum, but for the classmates. They are buying their children a network. If you didn't inherit one, you have to build one. Stop being a lone wolf and start being a connector. Society tells you that a degree is a safety net. But in an age of AI and global outsourcing, a general degree is becoming a commodity. And the problem with being a commodity is that you are easily replaced, which means you have 0 leverage. Rule number 6 is that the real money is found in your skill stack. A skill stack is a combination of two or more high-value skills that, when combined, make you unique. A person who is just a good writer is competing with millions. But a good writer who also understands data analysis and consumer psychology is a unicorn. That person can charge 10 times more because they aren't just a writer. They are a growth engine for a business. The school system focuses on specialization or generalization. The wealthy focus on strategic stacking. Don't just get a degree. Learn how to sell, learn how to negotiate, learn how to speak in public. These are force multipliers. When you combine a technical skill with a soft skill like persuasion, your value to the market doesn't just double, it grows exponentially. You stop being a worker and you become a specialist that the world is willing to pay a premium for. Don't just collect certifications, collect rare and valuable combinations of abilities. The most dangerous trap for anyone who starts making money is lifestyle creep. As your income goes up, your expenses rise right along with it. You get a raise, so you move into a bigger apartment. You get a bonus, so you buy a better car. Before you know it, you are earning 6 figures, but you're still living paycheck to paycheck. You are a high-income poor person. Rule number 7 is the rule of delayed gratification. The wealthy do not buy their toys with their labor. They buy their toys with the profits from their assets. If you want a $1,000 a month car payment, don't take it out of your salary. Instead, take your capital and invest it in an asset, like a business or a dividend-paying fund, that generates $1,000 a month. Use that money to buy the car. This way, the person who used their salary has a car that loses value and no money left. But the person who used an asset has the car, and they still have the investment, which continues to pay them forever. It takes discipline to look boring for a few years, while your friends are posting their new purchases on Instagram. But remember, most people are faking it. They are rich on the outside and broke on the inside. Be the person who buys their freedom first. The rules of money aren't complicated, but they are hidden. School gave you the tools to be a good employee, but it's up to you to find the tools to be a master of your own destiny. You now have the shadow curriculum in your hands, but knowledge without action is just entertainment. If you want to actually change your financial trajectory, you have to start applying these rules today. So, which of these 7 rules was the biggest eye-opener for you, and which one are you going to implement first? Let me know in the comments below. I read as many as I can, and your comment might just inspire someone else in this community. If you found this valuable, hit that like button and subscribe to join us on this journey to financial mastery. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.